An absolutely hilarious movie. Yeah, it's pretty much just fan service and cameos the film, but listen, I'm a fan. I was serviced in this movie. I had an absolute blast with it, seeing all the characters come back. I think they use them actually very well, like Gambit, Blade. They all actually have their own mini arcs in the film. Jackman and Ryan Reynolds simply have too great of comedic chemistry, though. They are absolutely hilarious, being polar opposites in this film. And I also really like a lot of the uses of music in this film. The action sequences are all equaling just something that's really fun to watch, and it was an absolute blast seeing it in theaters for that first time. And I actually think Cassandra Nova had potential to be one of the better MCU villains of all time if they just used her a bit more. She kind of gets pushed to the sidelines, but she was super cool in the scene she actually was in. At number 12, I have Dee Dee, a coming of age story about this kid that's kind of trying to do what everybody does when you're like 13. You're trying to get away from your families, get in with the cool kids, and you're trying to figure everything out. And this movie was just so real, in my opinion. Like, there was so many relatable moments in it. It also just hits emotionally towards the end for sure. Definitely one that you should watch if it wasn't on your radar. Similarly, another great coming-of-age movie from this year is Snack Shack. It's about these two friends, and they end up starting up this snack shack over the summer to try to make some money. And obviously, there's lots of complications. As with all coming-of-age stories, they run into this girl and other stuff. And for like the first hour, this movie's kind of just your typical like coming-of-age teenage story, and it's very funny and stuff. But towards the end of this movie, it really has some kick in it. It actually was making me tear up towards the end. It just gets so emotional, and it comes out of left field. Number 10 is Glenn Powell's Hitman, where he plays this professor who kind of moonlights for the police and pretends to be a hitman for hire to catch people that are out here trying to hire a hitman. Things get complicated when he starts falling for one of the clients that was trying to hire a hitman. This movie was absolutely hilarious. These two have amazing chemistry. I really feel like we just don't get a lot of just straight up comedies like this anymore that are actually funny. This kind of felt like a 2010s comedy put in the modern day, and I really loved it. At number 9, I have Wicked. I had no expectations going into this to actually love this as much as I did, but it was an absolute blast of a film. First of all the songs are incredible, and Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are incredible. Their voices are great. Goes beyond just the songs. I honestly think these two give two of some of the best performances of the entire year. They are so captivating throughout this entire movie. Their relationship and dynamic is just so great. Surprisingly really funny, especially Ariana Grande. Like, she deserves a Best Supporting Actress nomination, if not a win for this role. It was so great. And the biggest complaint I see people have about this movie is the visuals, saying that it looks very washed out and dull. There are definitely a few sequences that do look like that, but overall I think that gets over exaggerated a little bit. I think this actually looks pretty good overall. At number 8, I have Transformers 1, one of the biggest surprises of the entire year for multiple reasons for me. First of all, the trailers for this straight up just looked pretty awful, and I blame those trailers for why this movie didn't make a lot of money at the box office. And I'm also not just a big fan of the Michael Bay Transformers or the Transformers in general, but this movie completely won me over. I think it's easily the best Transformers movie. Animation actually looks really good. I'm still not the biggest fan of the character models, but in the actual movie, it works better than I thought when I first saw the trailers. And it also is very funny. Like, Bumblebee has to be one of the funniest side character performances of the entire year so far. But what makes the movie this high up on my list is like the last 30 minutes and the third act of this movie go so incredibly hard when we finally get the Optimus Prime transformation. The action sequences and epic moments at the end are generally some of the best of the entire year. At number 7, I have Challengers, a movie about these three terrible people in this love triangle of just pure manipulation, and I love me a good movie about just terrible people being themselves. Never been a Zendaya hater to say, but I never really was a big fan of her before this year, but with her performance in Dune Part 2 and this, I'm fully won over and think she is generally a great actress. She was so incredible in this movie. This also has some of my favorite cinematography of the entire year. This movie just looks gorgeous, and there's some really creative shots like the tennis ball scene. At number 6, I have Anora, which is kind of like the crushing reality of a Cinderella story. It follows this girl, Anora, or Annie, and she's a sex worker, but this guy comes in who's super rich and kind of just picks her up off her feet. And she finds out that the reason he's so rich is because he's actually the son of a Russian oligarch. So she's very quickly hit with the reality of, hey, this is not my Cinderella story. This is actually just causing a lot of problems for me, making me reconsider things about myself. And this movie is really just amazing all throughout. Cinematography, great. The music and pop music they use in this, like the opening sequence, it just immediately immerses you in the world of this movie. Mikey Madison easily gives one of the best performances of the entire year in this lead role. It's funny, and it's also emotionally just soul-crushing by the very ending. Like, the last scene really just stuck with me for like a week after watching this. At number 5, I have Nosferatu. This just absolutely blew me away, and it's almost perfect. There's just a few minor grievances I have with it. I do think the editing is a little weird at times, and I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is pretty horrible as his performance in this movie. Otherwise, this is an absolutely great reimagining and telling of the classic Nosferatu tale. Robert Eggers was the perfect guy to make this, and this is a truly star-making performance for Lily Rose Depp. This was an absolutely mind-blowing performance. The physical acting and like body contortions, things she's doing with her eyes in this movie are incredible. And she's actually my favorite actress performance of the year. I think she should win the Oscar, although I'm sure she won't because they're very against horror at the Oscars, but she was incredible in this. Bill Skarsgård completely transforms into Count Orlok and it's just unrecognizable. The voice and the physical look is incredible. On a visual level, this movie is an absolute feast to look at. The cinematography is great, just the set design and costumes. Robert Eggers knows how to pull you into a completely different place and time and fully immerse you here. At 4, I have The Wild Robot. This is literally just a warm hug of a movie that left me smiling. It left me tearing up, not even from the sad moments. Some of the happiest moments were just getting to me because this is just so emotional. Never did I expect to be this pulled into a story about a robot and a baby bird and them kind of caring for each other and the wilderness around them as a whole, but it was just getting to me. Also probably one of the best, if not the best looking film of the entire year. This kind of like paintbrush animation art style they have was absolutely gorgeous to look at. The score is absolutely incredible and super elevates certain scenes. Like Bright Bill's first flight, the music playing during that moment just hits you. And number 3, I have The Count of Monte Cristo. This is a French language film, obviously adapting the very famous book that I'm an idiot. I've never actually read that book or seen any other adaptation. So this was my first journey into this story and I was absolutely blown away. See why it's such a classic now. What an amazing revenge story and character study all wrapped into one. This thing was like almost 3 hours long and it was epic for almost every single second of it, spanning across decades. Some absolutely just jaw-droppingly gorgeous shots in this movie, great performances from everyone, and this is easily one of my favorite scores of the year. It might be the number 2 behind one of the other movies that's going to come up on this list. At number 2, I have Sing Sing, a movie that A24 refuses to distribute widely across America for some reason. I think this is what they should be going all in on for their Oscar winner over The Brutalist. This thing was incredible. Follows Coleman Domingo, who's this guy wrongfully imprisoned at Sing Sing for a murder he didn't commit, but while he's there, he builds up this drama club, and it gives him and the other prisoners in the club this escape from the prison life, and it's really just a beautiful movie. It was getting me emotional all throughout. So many just great moments. Coleman Domingo, easily one of the best performances of the entire year. To the surprise of probably absolutely nobody, my number 1 is Dune Part 2, one of my favorite movies of all time. It immediately became so the second I walked out of this watching it the first time. I've rewatched this movie like 8 times already this year. I don't even think I have to go over the positives of this movie because it's literally everything. Every character in this film is incredible. Paul Atreides' arc and turn is executed so perfectly. I think Timothée Chalamet should be nominated for this, but he'll probably get it for Bob Dylan instead. Rebecca Ferguson, Fade Rotha, 2 of the most creepy and unsettling performances.
तरह की कुरियर सर्विस है।
टेक्निकली सोचे तो है, शायद नहीं, मे भी हो भी सकती है। लेकिन आरजे सर, मुझे क्या मतलब है कुरियर सर्विस है या नहीं? आप पिज्जा खाओ ना।
तेरे जवाब और जो तूने अभी ये खाना मंगाया ना, उसके बिल अमाउंट में बहुत बड़ा लिंक है। गलत जवाब दिया तो वो खाना हो जाएगा महंगा।
हैं? वो कैसे?
तो देख, सबसे पहले तो जितने रुपए का ऑर्डर है जोमेटो स्विगी को उस पर देना होता है 5% जीएसटी, वो भी डिस्काउंटेड अमाउंट से पहले। मतलब अगर 1000 का ऑर्डर है, डिस्काउंट के बाद 800, तो जीएसटी पूरे 1000 पर लगेगा। अब सरकार ये चाहती है कि ये ऐप जो डिलीवरी चार्जेस आपसे कलेक्ट कर रही है उस पर भी 18% टैक्स दे, क्योंकि टेक्निकली ये कुरियर सर्विस हुई। लेकिन जोमेटो स्विगी ये बोल रहे हैं कि वो ये डिलीवरी चार्जेस खुद रखते ही नहीं है, बल्कि डिलीवरी पार्टनर्स को ट्रांसफर कर देते हैं। एंड चूंकि डिलीवरी पार्टनर्स की एनुअल इनकम 20 लाख रुपए से कम है, तो उन्हें जीएसटी पे ही नहीं करना। अब सरकार बोलती ना भाई ना, इसमें तो सरकार का नुकसान हो रहा है। उन्होंने 750 करोड़ रुपए का जीएसटी डिमांड निकाल दिया है जोमेटो और स्विगी पर। अब ये ऐप 750 करोड़ देगी या सरकार मानेगी वो तो समय ही बताएगा, लेकिन आगे से तो ये वाला टैक्स आपको ही देना है। अगर थोड़ी गणित करें तो 1000।
So first impressions on the video without watching it, it feels like it's going to be a sob story, right? This year broke me, all these people calling me out for the things I've done. So let's check it out.
2024, the year of more.
Oh my God.
There's been more business.
The first ever center ring sponsor.
More unforgettable moments.
Good God. Absolutely incredible.
And most importantly, more Pauls. The haters are fuming.
Okay, so it's a video of him like showing off what he did in 2024. It's not a sob story at all. So why is it titled "This Year Broke Me"? What the heck? Okay, so he talks about becoming dad, talks about his family. Honestly, that's cool and all, whatever. Hopefully being a dad changes him for the better because, you know, he was a bit of a sociopath in my opinion. Hopefully family can possibly mellow him out. Then he pretends to like Jake Paul when I swear he was just trashing him like last video.
I have to say, I am so proud of this little family that we've started. And actually just my family in general, specifically my little brother Jake, because my God, that guy is rich and famous as
Jake Paul!
My brother is absolutely killing it. He just
Bro changes his mind every alternate video. One video he loves Jake, the other video he absolutely hates him. I don't know what the hell is going on. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Logan video without talking about Prime and Lunchly.
And we launched in 29 new countries. My God. Prime has proven yet again that we are here to stay. And we got some crazy things coming in 2025 for both hydration and energy that are going to blow your minds. Anyways, I like my cheese drippy, bruh. The greatest lunch experience of all time. No, the greatest experience of all time.
Sure, the greatest experience if you're actually lobotomized. I don't know who else is saying that's the greatest experience. Maybe if your brain was eaten by a parasite, it might be the greatest experience. So he just goes on to brag about expanding and sales and stuff like that. Honestly, I don't know how it's actually doing because they obviously are going to pretend it's always doing well because that's good for business and it gives people that impression. He then goes on to glaze Lunchly, obviously.
This is great. Really good. This was an amazing opportunity to partner with my longtime friend, Mr. Beast.
Your longtime friend, Mr. Beast, huh? Apparently just childhood best buddies here, best friends forever. Immaculate chemistry, especially on podcasts, obviously.
And just like, I really like partnering with people I like Jimmy and KSI. What more can you ask for? These guys are machines, phenoms in their own regard.
Yeah, okay, they make you a lot of money, we get it. Then he talks about spirituality and God, which is crazy coming from Logan.
My relationship with God, my relationship with the universe, the creator, has strengthened immensely this year. I can feel it. I pray, I speak to the universe, I vocalize my intentions and my desires.
Yeah, 2024 is crazy. Apparently Logan found God before paying back Crypto Zoo victims. That's crazy. I don't know what the hell he's yapping about. It's like that mumbo jumbo of the universe like guiding him or something. I don't really care. I just want to see him actually not do run things, you know, literally anything other than make money at the cost of other people. Okay, so I finished the video. He did not mention anything about any controversy at all. I don't know what the hell that title thumbnail was. I got clickbaited. But yeah, I just had to talk about it. Even my friends were messaging me about it. You were in Logan Paul videos. Like, bro, he did not mention me. Anyways, moving on to Mr. Beast's new Amazon show. The reviews are in. Okay, here we have Beast Games reality competition. One season is out. 3.4 star ratings. It got a bunch of 5-star ratings, but a shit ton of 1-star as well, which is not the best sign. Here's the ratings: 5.6 out of 10 IMDb, 2 out of 10 IGN, which, you know, not many people take seriously, but still, 20% Rotten Tomatoes. Here's a description: 1,000 contestants compete in physical, mental, and social challenges for a chance to win $5 million cash prize. Contestants use their strength and wit to stay in the game with the hope of being the multi-million-dollar winner. Okay, so we're gonna go through all these sites one by one, see what everyone's saying, and see like the audience reviews as well. Okay, here we are on IMDb. First review, 5 out of 10. Honestly, meh. With only 2 episodes out now, the show seemingly sets the tone for the rest. Getting to the last 500 is primarily luck-based, preying on the uncertainties. Okay, so one gripe I have with these sort of game shows is I hate when anything is luck-based because, you know, when it's a massive sum of money, I feel like it should all be super skill-based, like luck should be minimized. I just feel like it waters down the intensity of shows like that, and especially when people have like a skill-based challenge first and then later get eliminated because of luck, it's just like, god damn, that just sucks. The show even specifically zooms in on those who have lost due to simply being unlucky. The one skill-based game was difficult to follow with there being so many people, making the experience chaotic to say the least. Most annoying of all is the constant repetition of everything that the show is going to do, including, but not limited to, the biggest price in entertainment is free, which I believe we heard about 8 times throughout the first episode. Another 500 times from Mr. Beast himself, of course. Okay, so there's a huge problem here. The show's quite interesting, but the challenges are just disappointing. The show's very entertaining and want more episodes out now, but there's way too much I will pay you to get out type of challenges. I hate those. Those are the worst, man. Those are absolute bottom tier ways to narrow down the competition. Like, you watch for sort of challenges challenges and interesting things and just like paying people to leave is just the lamest shit ever. It's very boring and repetitive, shows clearly unfair with many of these stupid self-sacrifice type of challenges as you put a ton of faith in other people. To be honest, I'm okay with the self-sacrifice type. At least it adds like a little bit of drama and stuff. A dreadful version of the superior Korean shows. If your thing is to get a constant headache from listening to childless screaming hosts, overly exaggerating every single event. Okay, so there's basically a Mr. Beast video on steroids, right? Do Americans not know how to speak at normal levels? If you're easily amused, this is for you. Okay, we got a good review, 9 out of 10, but it's downvoted to hell. Really far and above any game show I've seen. Allegations aside, the show's something special, okay. And then right below that, 1 out of 10 with way more upvotes, the saddest, most dystopian entertainment on Prime. You cannot help to feel depressed, sad, and sorry for the people participating in the show being used as they are eliminated wholesale unfairly for the only sake of shock value and being discarded left and right, while they beg and cry as their dreams of financial independence and supporting their families goes away and their hopes dashed away. The show rewards lying, selfish people with worst impulses and with the least concern to others. Yeah, this is something I don't like. I get that it's part of the game and stuff like that, but I think in general you want to reward the selfless people because then you're just incentivized to be selfish all throughout. Now, a lot of people are pointing out the dystopian side of it. The show's bringing nothing good to its viewers. Only meaningful message is if you have enough capital, you can do whatever. Money and fame will bring views regardless of the content. Whether you're Amazon or the rich guy with a wet dream to treat people with no consideration, replicate, rip off their shows and claim as your own. Honestly, if you want mindless entertainment, it definitely is for you. But the fact that it's actually real and these are real people just desperate to make money just adds that cringe where it's just too hard to watch for me. Okay, here we have IGN's Beast Games review. Now, take it with a grain of salt. We all know IGN from their video game reviews, but let's see what they're saying. The Mr. Beast formula involves frying attention spans by throwing plenty of annoyingly loud yet empty escalations at the viewer. The same is true of the way Beast Games hits you over the head with refreshers about what's unfolding right in front of your eyes. Oh yeah, guys, do you know we have the biggest thing ever, the biggest prize pool, the most people, the biggest show, nobody's ever done this, oh my god, it's so awesome. Like, you don't have to say all of that. How about you show it through the show? You know, you don't have to constantly say, this is the best thing ever, this is the biggest thing ever done. Like, calm down. And you know, quick side note, I've been reading a bunch of books recently, and it has completely changed my perspective on social media as a whole. Like, reading a book is just so calm and so chill, right? And you're not constantly bombarded by 500 different things like a Mr. Beast video. So I don't know, I'm just like so turned off from this type of stuff. It's a shallow series best suited to existing Mr. Beast fans. Yep, that's pretty much exactly how I would describe it. Reality show completeness or people looking for background noise while they scroll on their phones. Okay, we have a post on r/television, Beast Games review, one of the most undignified spectacles ever shown on TV. This is by The Guardian. If you like Mr. Beast and enjoy the ostentatious displays of wealth he regularly wheels out for his YouTube channel, then this will be catnip. Beast Games is basically YouTube on steroids. Oh my god, that's exactly what I said. On the other hand, if Mr. Beast is new to you, you might wonder why someone has made a TV show about a shouting, weaselly-looking man who seems grimly determined to rip off Squid Game. There's a cruel ruthlessness to Beast Games that is truly unpalatable. Overwhelmingly, the bulk of the challenges take the form of self-sacrifice, where groups of contestants are told that they can't progress to the next round unless one of them willingly gives up their shot at the prize and leaves the show. Okay, so I was saying self-sacrifice is okay, it adds drama and stuff, but I'm only saying that because I watched Lost and there's a lot of mystery and self-sacrifice in that, which I thought was really cool. But again, that is fiction, so they're not giving up their chance to lose $5 million, so I take that back. I completely changed that. Maybe this is not cool, because this is like people desperate to become rich and then they're giving up their chance for other people as well. While Mr. Beast laughs in the background, obviously. The ugliness of the challenge is overbearing. There's endless pleading and crying and full-blown adult tantrums, and all for a jackpot that is statistically unlikely to win. It's a classic situation that sort of bogs down your mind where, you know, a lot of people buy lottery tickets hoping that they'll win, but then if you actually understand mathematics, you will literally never win. Like, your chances are so close to zero, you might as well just throw that money in the trash, right? Oh my god, this guy's savage. It exists solely to show us the worst of the human condition as obnoxiously as possible. Oh my lord, this guy does not like Mr. Beast. Okay, so a lot of you guys know I'm a TV show enthusiast. I'm on a mission. It is my dream to watch every single good TV show on the planet, just because that's who I am. I love freaking TV shows, and the first place I go to see if a TV show is good is click audience reviews and read a bunch of the reviews, right? So let's check it out. Let's check out the 5-star reviews. Let's check out the 1-star reviews. Here's the first review, 5 stars. I love the Beast Games because what they're doing has never been done before. The whole team deserves a standing ovation. I work in media production. It's inspiring. Okay, anything about the show? I really appreciate that Colin and Samir made the behind the scenes. Mr. Beast can silence the haters once and for all. What? Can you describe the show? I'm trying to see if I want to watch watch it, bro. It's exactly as expected to be, but has not disappointed yet. Fun, intense, random, exciting. Okay. Honestly, regarding the negative reviews, look at what 99%. It's usually, oh my god, it's so horrible what they put the contestants through, even though every single one of them signed up to this, knowing it would be long shot at winning. Fact is, it's a well-produced game show. Well, I don't really care about good production. I just want real good entertainment, mystery, drama, exciting shit. Here we got a 1-star review. Beast Games presents a disturbingly exploitative spectacle that highlights the worst aspects of contemporary society's obsession with wealth, shows sadistic premise, revolves around contestants competing for large sums of money, both undignified and dehumanizing. Sharply reflects the shallow, materialistic values that dominate modern culture. Individuals are reduced to mere pawns in a game driven by financial gain. Yeah, I keep forgetting this is not fiction. This is not a, he claims it's all real, right? So, I don't know. Then it's a bit hard to watch, isn't it? This is like real people. But then this is what a lot of other game shows are as well, but I find them questionable too, especially those like that Japanese game shows of how they like just torture that one guy. Beast Games is a troubling reflection of our generation's moral decay and brain rot. Okay, that I can agree. That I can definitely agree. Driven by an insatiable desire for monetary success. That would describe Mr. Beast. Relentless pursuit of shock value and profit at the expense of human respect is deeply troubling. One looking at the overall reviews may be confused why they're so skewed. How can a show simultaneously be flooded with overwhelming negative and positive reviews? I would assume it's Mr. Beast fans and Mr. Beast haters. The answer, I think, lies in the viewers' ability to numb their sense of empathy for their fellow man in pace of placating their inner hamster brain with action sequences and flashing lights. That is actually geniusly described. So basically, a bunch of kids love it because it's entertaining, and a bunch of adults will love it because they shut off the empathy portion of their brain, which I will admit, if you watch the show as entertainment, you could possibly derive entertainment from it if you just shut off the fact that basically just people desperate for money trying to make it big, and then you have this rich guy just making them dance to his tune, essentially. If I told you I'd written a book about a mentally 15 rich man who put desperate people through hell for a teeny tiny chance of earning money, you'd call me crazy. Also, maybe ripping off Squid Games, what the show certainly does, but here we are watching this nonsense because there's nothing better to do in this increasingly depressing and understimulating times. Oh my god, people do not like this. Every second of the show is designed to impress you with how cool, charismatic, and epic. See, these reviews, you can tell that none of these are kids. These are literally like properly written reviews, because a lot of times you'll see a show and then people just go on to hate on it, right? And there's a bunch of like, bad show, I don't like this person, etc., etc. But these are like giving detailed explanations of why they're rating it that way. Oh, we got a Mr. Beast fan. As a longtime fan, the show left me quite disappointed. From the first episode, I could tell I was not going to like it. Lack of challenges. I was expecting more from Mr. Beast. The challenges not been entertaining. Half of them are bribes. I hate the bribes, bro. I say this every time. Like, the bribes are so goddamn cringe. Just change that for anything else. Literally anything else. Like, have them solve a challenge. Have them do something else. Like, don't pay people off to leave. It is the most low effort dog shit for someone who claims to have, super high effort production and all that. I would say around 70% of the challenges so far are just bribes. Is that true? Which in my opinion is boring, gives me a sort of gross feeling. The vibes, half of the time the show is just people crying. I mean, I don't blame them, but it kind of threw me off. Yeah, I mean, you would cry too if you lost like millions of dollars, but the thing is, in fiction, it's fine. Like, if I'm watching Squid Game, I know it's fiction, it's fine, but like if I'm watching real people crying the entire show, it's hard to get past that, Controversy, probably bias, multiple lawsuits. Yeah, it doesn't make my watching experience any better. Here's what Twitter's saying about it: 140k likes. Wow, this is new levels of effing garbage. Not to be woke about it, but it's literally 45 minutes of watching single mothers and poor people cry while Mr. Beast makes MCU quips about it. Now, if you look at Mr. Beast's Twitter, he's just ecstatic about it. He's like, #1 in the US, #1 blah blah blah. I guess that's just because he's Mr. Beast and he controls literally half the world. It would be disappointing if it wasn't #1, honestly. I'd be embarrassed. Now, I got a video recommended called I Got Pregnant at Beast Games, and I just want to show you like the first 20 seconds because I've never seen so much brain damage.
I got pregnant at Beast Games. My name is Sarah, and about 4 months ago, I found out I was pregnant. When I backtracked the timeline, my conception date landed on, you guessed it, the last day of filming Beast Games. But here's the catch. Turns out the father was another contestant. This guy got me pregnant. What?
What the actual hell am I watching? Like, how could you possibly actually record this and not want to shoot yourself? I got pregnant at Beast Games and it was actually another contestant. Dude, this is what I'm talking about. It is peak freaking brain rot. Dude, these are full-grown adults doing this shit. How is this normal? Anyways, moving on to the Marcus Brownlee drama. Basically, people have been toasting him in the the comments of all of his latest videos for his reckless driving, right? Making a bunch of jokes about it. Here's some comments. Just so everyone coming in late knows what's happened, Marcus went in and removed a 5-second section of his video where he recklessly goes 96 in a 35 zone. He's attempting to sweep it under the rug, it would seem. Editing out the crime does not make it disappear. Here we have an open headphones video. How are the drivers? Here we have a smartphone awards video. The processing speed exceeds legal limits. And then finally we have today's video, what the frick happened in 2024, where Marcus finally addresses a lot of the drama. 2024 really picked up speed towards the end, huh? This year really sped by, didn't it? People love this joke. So first he talks about Panels, his very expensive wallpaper app that people thought was pretty ridiculous.
We launched Panels, our wallpaper app, to the world. Fortunately, that was a total misjudgment on my part. It was my turn to get roasted. This is the same guy that reviewed the Fisker earlier this year and the Humane Pin and the Rabbit. So now it was all turned on me as the person making the product that wasn't up to par. And I deserved it. So I prioritized fixing things based on feedback. I'm proud of how much we were able to improve based on the feedback that we actually got.
And then he talks about the reckless driving controversy where people were very disappointed in him.
I released a DJI action cam video, a video about using these action cams. It was sponsored. There were a whole bunch of learnings about sponsored videos from that experience that I took in pretty quickly. So there was a clip in that video, since removed, of POV driving a Lamborghini and accelerating to over 90 miles an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. It's just stupid and dangerous, not just for the actual act, which was stupid and dangerous, but also for the potential precedent that it could set. Because like we've said, I know people watch these videos, and for someone to watch that and think that it's okay. So I apologized. I encourage you to not do what I did.
Yeah, so basically he apologized and said he won't do it again. There's no real other explanation to that. And then he's just going to be more diligent in the future as to, you know, being a good role model as well. And honestly, I think Marcus has had such a good reputation for so long. It's probably not going to affect him that much at all. And people still like him for the most part and still trust him. With his views have not really gone down that much either. But yeah, of course, he shouldn't have been doing that stuff, obviously, and hopefully he won't in the future. Anyways, moving on to Cody Ko. He has responded in a side channel with the whole controversy with Tana Mongo, and yeah, people do not like it at all. Here's what he said.
I also understand if your opinion of me has potentially changed over the last few months. You know, I spent the first half of my career criticizing people and judging people online, so, you know, I don't begrudge your judgment of me by any means. I just think all I can do right now and moving forward is just try to be the best person I can be for myself and for my family, and just try to continue putting the best shit out there that I can. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you stick around to watch it, I very much appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, truly. And so that's the plan.
Yeah, so basically he did not talk about any of the details at all because, you know, honestly, the details are very grimy for him. So yeah, obviously not the best response here. Very ironic coming from the commentary guy as well, but definitely should be taking better accountability for it. Anyways, a lot of people have talked about it, so I'm not going to expand on that. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about all of these controversies, and let me know if you enjoy multiple topics in one video, because I might start doing that just so I can talk about more stuff. Click this video if you enjoy my peanut butter chocolate overnight oats, dude. I've been cooking up some fire recently, or cold fire, because I put them in the freezer sometimes. But yeah, anyways, till next time, guys. Bye-bye.
I have so much fun putting together my big end of year lists. Looking back.
Oh man, we're gonna be talking about a lot of these, so buckle up.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, we're still in okay territory. Just remember that. Next up is the weakest Smiling Friends episode, Mr. President. I'm honestly surprised I got some pushback for saying this one was the weakest. Like, I thought that was the general consensus. I think it's probably because a lot of people liked the president character, which is valid, but he wasn't my thing personally. I'm more so just a little disappointed with how they kind of wasted this amazing premise and barely utilized Mr. Frog. Plus they crammed a lot in with the whole worm stuff that goes very underdeveloped. I don't know, I feel like the focus was just on the wrong places in this episode, but I cannot stress enough that it really is not bad. There is not a bad episode of Smiling Friends yet. I just felt like this is the one that left the most to be desired.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Roadside Attraction is very similar to Mr. President in the sense that there really isn't a bad episode of Gravity Falls. And the fact that this is the weakest one just goes to show what a high standard the show has in general. If you showed this episode to any random person and said, yeah, it's a cute, funny cartoon episode, just have fun with it, chances are they'll probably enjoy it. On its own, it's fine. It just suffers so much from where it takes place chronologically. It makes absolutely no sense to throw this random season 1-esque episode right before the final few episodes. And I still don't understand what the Dipper X Candy thing was about. Genuinely though, there's not much actually wrong with it when you divorce it from the context of the rest of the show, aside from it being maybe a little dull and standard. Still, if this was someone's first Gravity Falls episode, it would probably still get them interested in the show. Which, you know, that counts for something.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, spoilers, but the next 3 spots in a row are gonna go to GBA battle courses in 3 different Mario Kart games. These are all fairly simple and arguably boring, but they do their jobs of providing a basic arena for you to fight in perfectly fine. Not to mention they have some sick-ass music to boot. Easily the best battle mode song in the whole series. First up is the Mario Kart 7 version of GBA Battle Course 1. There's nothing super wrong with it aside from its simplicity, and it outranks the original because, I don't know, at least this one is 3D.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Next is GBA Battle Course 1 in its original Super Circuit form. This one is not 3D and it doesn't even have moles, so it ranks a little lower.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Finally, we have the Mario Kart Wii iteration of GBA Battle Course 3. Oh my god, there's so many of these. I forget what I said in my original video. Something about the L's being too big of obstacles. I have no idea, man, but it's fine otherwise.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, it's Persona O'Clock. Here's the Persona 1 opening movie, the weakest one in the series. Yeah, I mean, it's not devoid of artistic merit. The piano is fine, and the last shot with the blocks in the hospital room is pretty cool. But yeah, it's kinda boring, I don't know. I don't really get a whole lot out of it. I mean, to be fair, I still haven't played this game, but I watched someone else play through all of it. I know the story and characters. It suits the general mood of its game pretty well, but it's just not really all that engaging to watch, regardless.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Next up, we have the entire score of The Rise of Skywalker. Look, I dunked on this thing pretty hard, but putting it into perspective next to all the other evil entities on this list, I mean, at least it's nice to listen to. It's annoying when you're watching the film and you hear Palpatine's theme for the 50th time instead of something original, but I mean, I like Palpatine's theme. This film is a greatest hits medley of bits from the previous scores, and they're not used in the most sensical of ways, but damn it, at least those compositions are good. And to be totally fair, I do like some of the original compositions in this film. The celebration music towards the end is actually pretty good and not derivative. It really just goes to show you that even one of the worst John Williams scores I've ever heard in my life is some solid shit. Leaps and bounds ahead of some of the garbage we're gonna get into.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, so we talked about a lot of movie and video game stuff with substance. Now we get to go over what I think is one of the funniest inclusions in this ranking. Donkey Kong's Wii Remote sound in Brawl. So why do I like this less than the Rise of Skywalker's score and the President episode of Smiling Friends? I don't know. It's kind of an inoffensive little grunt. But it annoys me because it basically tells you nothing about Donkey Kong.
What you eating? A banana. Want a bite? Sure.
I swear, I don't get anything out of this. And you could have easily thrown in a bongo sound effect or something. He's a character with a lot of personality, and this is just such a nothing little noise. So that's why I like this 1 second grunt less than an entire misguided movie score. At least there are some good bits of the Rise of Skywalker's music. But can you pick out any good bits of Donkey Kong's 1-second grunt? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Now for the worst battle map in Mario Kart 8. Deluxe. Lunar Colony isn't a terrible map to battle on, but it's just got way too many craters that mess up the trajectory of your items to be all that fun. Oh, but you can trick off of them! Yeah, but like, why do I need to trick if I'm not in a race? Is that little speed boost really gonna make that much of a difference? Who am I impressing by tricking off of the craters in Lunar Colony? Oh well, not terrible but not impressive, whatever, moving on.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, I'm not gonna be biased by the fact that Mario Kart 64 to this day has the best battle mode in the series. That will not sway me from acknowledging the shortcomings of Big Donut. Battle maps should not be a circle with no way to quickly get from one side to the other. Otherwise, that's how you get— No, we're not getting into that yet. Look, ultimately Big Donut isn't terrible, but you're gonna be chasing people a lot instead of naturally running into them. And that's just not as fun compared to playing on the other maps in this game.
Disappointment in the game of life.
For such a generally positive ranking with very few actual bad entries, it's really hard to overstate how much the music on SNES Ghost Valley and Mario Kart really dropped the ball. They took an already kind of monotonous and repetitive song from a platforming level and dulled it down even further. The original Ghost House music in Mario World progressed into a do-do-do-do-do, and that's not even in the Mario Kart version. What the hell? Yeah, this is just a lame copy of a song I already didn't really care for. I mean, I can tolerate it just fine, but it doesn't scare me, it doesn't excite me, and with that said, it's better than like 40 other things in this ranking.
Chaos control. Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, we got our first full entire movie in quite a while. Unsurprisingly, a lot of the full entire movies that rank at the bottom of a video for me are terrible in unfathomable ways. Hence why we haven't really seen too many of them yet. But thankfully, Tenet is really not that bad. I don't really like it because I don't get as invested in the characters as everyone else does. Surprisingly, the incomprehensible story isn't really that much of a deal breaker for me, as long as I was having fun with it. But yeah, I don't know, despite good performances and chemistry, I didn't really care about the main two characters, and the action isn't all that compared to some other Nolan films. I don't think it's terrible, but it's definitely one of those films where if you told me this was one of your favorite or one of your least favorite Nolan films, I would completely 100% understand either way. Everyone gets something different out of it, and I think that's kinda neat. I don't really care about it, but I don't hate it either. I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Oh boy, now we're ranking The Water in A New Hope. My dumbass Star Wars rankings are part of the reason I wanted to do this in general, because I thought it would be so funny trying to compare like actual entire movies and Mario Kart courses to The Water in A New Hope. I don't know. What do you want me to say? If we are judging it by the standards of Water in the series in general, yeah, it looks really terrible. You know, obviously I'd rather sit through the footage of the water in this movie compared to an entire film I'm not a big fan of. But I gotta put that aside and consider the vibes of this compared to the vibes of something else. Like, I don't really want to rewatch Tenet, but as a movie, it inspires more entertainment value than I get from looking at the dirty trash water in A New Hope. Like, I think we can all agree on that, maybe. I don't even know anymore. This is so stupid. I'm having fun though.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, now we're starting to get to the stuff that I actively don't have a good time with. Just a little bit. Next up, we have the Mario Kart Wii remake of GBA Shy Guy Beach. I just think this is a really lame remake. It kind of feels a little fan-made, and I don't want to insult fans by saying that, because they've made some way more impressive stuff than this. It's just kind of an unsatisfying satisfying course to play. Like the island hopping and pitiful trick ramps don't inspire any joy in me whatsoever. Just incredibly lame, and I actively avoid playing it whenever I pick up Mario Kart Wii.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Likewise, Palm Shore is a bland, boring beach map with a rising and falling tide gimmick that results in water that is actively unfun to drive through. This is the map they decided was good enough to bring back in Mario Kart 7 for some reason.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Purple Coins by the Seaside is my least favorite star in Super Mario Galaxy. But with that said, for being the worst out of 121 levels, this really isn't that bad of a placement. Super Mario Galaxy is just one of the most fun video games ever created. Obviously. Everyone knows this. Like, yeah, I can enjoy myself kinda flying from cloud to cloud with the bee suit, but eventually, it always sets in that this star is just mindless busy work. It's not really challenging or exciting, just completely tedious circling this linear ring to pick up 100 purple coins. I don't know, man. Some galaxies clearly did not need purple coin missions, and this is the prime example of that. Not the worst, but it kinda blows.
Please stop.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, now it's time for R2-D2's role in The Force Awakens, which you might be surprised that I ranked significantly lower than 3PO's. But ultimately, that's because not only is there somehow less to work with than with 3PO, but it actively pisses me off how R2 just conveniently decides to turn on and reveal the last piece of the map they're missing. This really should have been our warning sign that this trilogy was a storytelling catastrophe. But we all just assumed, oh, it'll be answered why he turned on here in the next one. Yeah, keep dreaming. Ultimately, I find the fact that R2 isn't really used at all in this movie way more annoying than 3PO's. Partially because I like R2 a lot better as a character, but also because, yeah, this just kinda sucks as an unexplained piece of the puzzle.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Oh boy, another thing with R2 in it. It's The Mandalorian Season 3. Wait, was he in this? No, wait, that was season 2, and then the Book of Boba Fett he was in. Oh my god, this is... Oh, what a fucking mess. I honestly completely forgot this was eligible for the list, until I remembered that despite being a slightly different kind of ranking video, my ranking of every TV show season I watched in 2023 did indeed include a last place spot. I don't know, man. I don't want to take too much time with this. This is just such a depressing fall off. Emblematic of how Star Wars fell off as a whole, really. I actively don't want more Mandalorian or Star Wars content that isn't Andor because of how bad this season was. Lifeless, boring, incoherently plotted. It feels more like a kids show now than the actual kids shows in the franchise. What was Christopher Lloyd doing rambling about Count Dooku? What the hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? I don't know, man. Literally just stop watching the show after season 2. The story ends there. Season 3 is dedicated to nothing but undoing the entire goodwill of the first 2 seasons, and I could not stand it whatsoever. But again, it's not the worst thing, nor the worst Star Wars thing I've ever watched. We're in for some treats on this list pretty soon.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, time for more anime shit. I hate Kenji's social link in Persona 3. It's just hearing an annoying kid talk about his plan to date his teacher for 10 straight scenes. You don't get anything out of it. Somehow, this is the least bad of the last place Persona social links though, because at least it tells a coherent story. It could have been worse.
Disappointment in the game of life.
You're a bear! I am.
Well, this took a while, but we finally reached our first animated movie that got last place in our ranking. One of my most popular rankings, in fact, as well as the original ranking video, the Best Animated Feature Winner ranking. And highly unfortunately, such a popular video is in fact completely outdated. I do not think Brave is the worst winner anymore. Most insulting winner, sure, because Wreck-It Ralph should have easily taken it, and it feels like they just gave it to Brave because, hey, it's the Pixar movie, and we gotta give it to the Pixar movie. But with that said, Happy Feet is worse, and I deeply regret not seeing how much worse it was at the time. Happy Feet is of course spared from this list, because it wasn't last place on my George Miller ranking. I wonder what was. But yeah, we'll get to that later. Right now, I'll just say that Brave is really dull, and it ranks this low especially because Merida pisses me off as a protagonist. She's so stupid, and the bear plot is stupid. This movie is just generally stupid, but it has way more artistic merit than practically every other animated movie I've ranked at last place. Take what you can get, Brave fans. But seriously, there's no way it should have beaten Wreck-It Ralph. I think we all agree on that. Speaking of...
disappointment in the game of life.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. Oh, goody. It's eligible because it came in last place on my Disney 2010s ranking. I'm not gonna talk about this one again. That's what the massive analysis video is for. Just watch that, I don't know. I hate this movie, and I especially hate what it represents. But it has a couple good parts, so it's not as low as it could have been. Congratulations.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, now we're starting to get into the stuff that I either actively despise with a passion, or stuff that is just so meaningless and empty that I couldn't objectively justify putting it any higher on the list, despite the fact that I can sit through a lot of it easier than other stuff. Like, would I rather rewatch Ralph Breaks the Internet or the Potluck song from Steven Universe? Obviously, the Potluck song. But I can't deny there is less artistic merit in the Potluck song because it's just the word potluck over and over. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna give that a pass and say that that's one of the best things I've ever ranked last place. By the pretty high standards of Steven Universe songs, that's just abysmal. Yeah, it's inoffensive, yeah, it doesn't need to be an amazing song or whatever, but I'm sorry, that's just how I'm interpreting this ridiculous, overstuffed ranking video of a bunch of things that should not be ranked together. Yeah, I don't know, you could have written like a real song here. It didn't have to be anything great. Sadie could have just sang any other words besides potluck. Like, that's all it took. Here, you know what? This isn't in the script, but I'm just gonna write it right now. I'm gonna write, like, a better song than potluck. Potluck's pretty great, and I like it, so don't be late. Potluck's pretty great, and I like it, so don't be late. That's it, that's better. That's better because there's more than one fucking word. I'm sorry. That is just better. She could have just sang that, okay? I'm sorry. Sang that. I'm putting that on Spotify. That was my song. It's better than fucking potluck. As is, I improved it. I do admittedly kind of like her singing voice though. It's nice how off-key and natural it is. But yeah, sorry Steven Universe fans, there's no defending potluck. Alright, now would be a good time for a sponsor bit. And I know what you're thinking. Time for the finale to the Shea Frillis Sandwich 6? No, not yet. We're saving that for the end. But yeah, with that said, Surfshark VPN. I guarantee it's better than Donkey Kong's Wii Remote sound in Brawl. With Surfshark, you can trick your browser into thinking you're in another country, thus allowing you access to exclusive Netflix or Disney Plus content you couldn't get otherwise. Plus, use its Surfshark alert system to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. Surfshark Alert scans various databases of leaked information and notifies its users if their data is found so they can take action, which is an absolutely invaluable feature. Surfshark is also totally unlimited, meaning you can use it on as many devices as you like, even all at the same time. No other VPN allows this. Now, listen up, because this is some extra special info I've got here for you. Until January 1st, we're doing a super special deal for the holidays. 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN at the low price of $1.99 a month. That's an insane deal, and it's not coming around again. So make sure to get it while you can. Go to surfshark.com/Rillis and enter the promo code Rillis for 4 extra months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. I haven't even brought up the 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, you can cancel during those 30 days and get your money back. If you're looking for a great VPN, there's no reason not to give Surfshark a try. Once again, go to surfshark.com/Rillis and enter the promo code Rillis. Have a great time with Surfshark VPN.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Yippee! Time for the first Mario Kart course I actively despise. You probably didn't think these would rank this low, considering Mario Kart gameplay is generally more fun than sitting through a bad movie. But let's be honest here. Racing on dry desert in Double Dash is fun in spite of the course itself, not because of it. I can have fun because the mechanics of the game are fun. But wow, does dry desert suck ass. Unbelievably boring. At least there's a Sarlacc pit and a big tornado. Otherwise, this is just so dull and terrible.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, I know I just said you're probably surprised that some Mario Kart courses rank super low, but I feel like this is one you probably expected to do a lot worse. The Mario Kart 8 remake of GBA Sunset Wilds. Yeah, it's embarrassing that the sun doesn't set. Yeah, it's boring and the multicolor blocks don't fit here at all. But at the end of the day, it has a little bit more going on than some of the other Mario Kart courses I have ranked lower. It does have the 2 trick ramps towards the end and a few shortcut opportunities. The music is still killer. It certainly could have been a lot worse. If you ignore what a bad remake this is, it's not the worst course in the world to play on, despite being the worst thing
right away. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it is electronic. Dude, this is impossible. You know what? I'm gonna guess that the middle is Tandemus.
Ooh, good guess. I'm gonna say you're wrong.
Give me the Resilient Soul. I would like the Resilient Soul because it sounded cool.
I've never used this Pokemon in a Then We Fight video, but I'll tell you what you missed out on. In the middle, the friend was a deerling.
Yeah, I wasn't in the woods. I was not in the woods for that one, not at all.
Eerie Cry on the right was Hisuian Braviary.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
On the left, you got a Bramblegast.
Yeah, I mean, he can do some, he does one thing. I think he spins. I think he has rapid spin. I don't know. He's a ghost type. You know, he's a ghost type. I could Terra. It's fine. Oh, there's a shiny on the screen, and it's one of my favorite shinies. So I have to acknowledge its existence.
Oh, you like Froakie?
What?
You like Froakie, don't you?
I don't know why you would randomly say that I like Froakie, but I mean, yeah, Froakie's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I like Froakie. Who doesn't, you know? Your first Pokemon on the left, the move is Hypno Hammer.
Obviously, I go to Hypno, but I feel like it's not. No, maybe I shouldn't be focusing on the Hypno. I should be focusing on the Hammer.
Oh, he's cooking.
I'm cooking. Tinkaton.
In the middle, your TCG move is Jump On.
Jump on what, Shady?
Listen, I couldn't tell you, but that's exactly what it is.
Okay, there's so many things I can jump on right now.
All right, so on the right, we're gonna go with the move Fire Claws.
That could be a plethora of things. But you know what I'm gonna do? I think I like the guessing game because it's good of like process of elimination. So I'm gonna guess that the first one, the Hammer, is Tinkaton or in that evolutionary line.
Unfortunately, it is not.
I don't want to Hypno either. I'm gonna take Fire Claws because that one sounds the coolest to me.
I actually don't think you can miss here. All these Pokemon have very good traits about them. The first one, Hypno Hammer, was a Moongus.
Listen, I would have loved Spore, to be honest.
In the middle, we had a Rowlet, so it could have gone to Hisuian Decidueye or the like.
Wait, Rowlet is jumping?
He jumps on, dude, because the owl...
Yeah, but I thought owls don't jump. They just perch. They perch on a tree.
And on the right, you got yourself the shiny. It is a shiny Growlithe.
I'm down for an Arcanine. I really am. Okay, and it's shiny. Listen, I'll take it. You know what happens when we get shinies, right? I can give any illegal move. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that today. We're not. I do want to ask you about this real quick.
The only backstory is that I had a rough childhood, right? That's the backstory for that one, okay?
How old were you in that picture?
In that picture, so this is 11 years ago. So I am 22.
You're still asking the same question to the people. What do you want from me?
I literally, no, but that's it. It's that picture tells a story, brother, because it's not just the fringe. It's just not the anchor necklace. It's the title, What Do You Want From Me? I was desperately looking for someone to be like, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, no, he just wanted.
I just wanted some validation.
Validation. Oh, no.
That's all I wanted.
I'm done. Okay, all right, we're loaded in. I'm gonna spin around. Let's see. Oh, again? You can hit or you can miss. There's some cool options here.
All right, cool. I love that. Well, listen, I already feel like I've been getting hit over and over again in this video. It's just crazy. I didn't know I was signing up for Emotional Abuse 101. This is wild.
This is the last video with Shady and I, guys. The first one is going to be Everlasting Darkness.
Oh my God. If that's not Eternatus or Yveltal, I'm gonna throw up.
No one else can do Eternal Darkness. Maybe like regular darkness. All right, here is your second one. We're gonna do Ball Roll.
Is that the Dung Beetle guy? That I don't even know his name.
Put some respect on...
You don't even know his name!
I'm gonna give you a bone here, okay? Your third one is Leech Seed.
Stop. That's not actually a bone. There's so many grass types. I'm going to guess that Leech Seed is Bulbasaur or something in its line.
No, that's a great guess, though.
I have to take the Eternal Darkness. It's too cool of a move for me not to take it.
So in the middle, the ball rolling was an Execute.
Execute?
Yeah, I just woke up. The Leech Seed was a Shaman Sky form.
Okay, that's criminal. That's crazy.
Eternal Darkness, though, you got a Banette.
I want to leave. I literally want to leave. I'm gonna turn around. This is a ridiculously good lineup.
Thank God, because I recorded with Dylan yesterday, and I'm not even gonna lie, my team was dog water.
So your first move, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, this is such a cool word that I'm gonna use it. Cauterize. The fact that this is on a Pokemon card is crazy.
That has to do with something with fire, isn't it?
Yes, it's when you cauterize a wound.
That's crazy that would be on a Pokemon card. What if like a 10-year-old gets that card and they're like, Mom, what is this? Like, oh, when you chop off a limb.
Your second Pokemon's TCG move is the move Raid.
Oh, come on.
And I'm gonna give you the move for your final Pokemon, and it is going to be Luster Burn.
I honestly don't want another fire type on the team. I'm gonna guess that the third one is a Reshiram.
It is not, sorry, yeah.
Listen, I guess for the culture, for the lore, I have to go with Raid.
And you know what? You didn't miss. You couldn't miss. On the left was a shiny Volcarona. On the right was a Skeledirge. Your Raid was a Scizor.
That's fair. Listen, I'll take a Scizor. I probably would have wanted the Dirge though. Shady, turning around round 3. Let's see what we're cooking up here. And you got a shiny in the middle, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so I'm missing every time. There's no good Pokemon. There's no.
No. Every single move for this Pokemon might as well give it away. I'm gonna give you Antique Collecting. I can't believe that's a move.
My brain right away thinks of like Poltergeist because of the teacup.
Yeah.
But like, he's not collecting it. He is the antique.
He is yeah, so why would he be collecting more antiques? In the middle, I'm gonna give you Gust.
All right, man. What are you over here giving me Gust? The most basic move.
There's a reason why I had to give you this specific card and specific move.
Okay, it's because of the fringe. I definitely, it's just.
What do you want from me? For your third one, I'm gonna give you Aqua Healing.
That screams Primarina to me.
It's really weird that you would say that.
Yeah, because because Sparkling Aria heals burn, so it's water and healing. I would be really sad if this is these. I'm gonna say that the first one is Poltergeist or Sinistea, basically.
Yeah, no, I will say that's 100% correct.
But I'm gonna go with Aqua Healing for that Arcanine. So I'm gonna go with Aqua Healing. Is that Primarina?
It's not Primarina. In the middle was a shiny Wingull, and there's actually a shiny Wingull card. You got yourself, though, a Quagsire with any ability. That's pretty dangerous.
We'll see what I cook up. Let me turn around and see what your next round holds. Oh, some very cool Pokemon. I feel like these Pokemon are gonna have sick moves. Your first Pokemon has the move Hide.
Okay, fair enough. He's hiding. Okay.
Your second Pokemon's move is Burst of Braying.
Burst of Braying?
Burst of Braying.
What does braying even mean?
So I will tell you that to bray is something along the lines of what a horse or something of the like does. Braying is a...
Oh, I know it.
Final starter's move from the TCG is the move Life Sucker.
That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna guess that the is a Mugsdale.
I'm sorry, friend, it's not.
You know what? Give me the Life Sucker. That sounds probably the coolest to me.
So in the up front was a Skrelp who was hiding because it's a tiny little guy hiding in the algae. In the middle was a Zebstrika. So still braying.
That's a zebra.
I know, that's why I said horse-like because I didn't want to miss. Like the Pokemon you got was the best of the bunch though, very easily. It's a Ceruledge.
God, that heals and does damage. Spinning around round number 4, correct? I think it's 4. Okay, you have some good options.
I could use some good Pokemon here, Rich. I'm not gonna lie. I'm down bad.
Okay, all right. So your first one, I'm gonna give you Frost Crush.
I don't have to think about it. That's Glalie.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna give you for the second one, Humming Heal.
Humming Heal. Who heals and hums? It's a grass type or a bug type, one of the two. Those are the only Pokemon that are allowed to hum.
Wait, so no other Pokemon can hum?
Nope, that's it. It's illegal. It's only grass and bugs. If I ever get to fire type humming, it's dead in the street. I'll tell you right now.
Dead. On the right, I'm gonna give you Find a Friend.
Stop! That's illegal, dude. That's illegal. I'm guessing that Find a Friend is Eevee. I don't care.
It's not.
Come on! I know there's an Eevee card with Find a Friend!
There has to be. There has to be.
Give me the first one, man. Whatever, I'm tilted.
You probably got the best one out of the bunch, in my opinion. So in the middle, the Humming Soul, I believe, was an Altaria.
I'm shooting it. It's not a grass or a bug. Get out.
On the right, looking for a friend, you'll probably agree, Dunsparce.
Yeah, definitely looking for a friend. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
You got yourself a Rotom Frost.
Rotom is a great Pokemon. Frost is like the second worst form, but it's fine. Oh, that's a shiny. I know which Pokemon I want you to choose, that I would want you to choose. You only have a 1 out of 3 chance to miss.
Okay, so the odds are pretty much in my favor.
Yes, so I'm gonna say that the first Pokemon's TCG move, this is going to be Distortion Beam.
Oh, that's sick.
Your second Pokemon's move, we have the move Power Rush.
Power Rush, that could be a plethora of things though.
And then on the right, you have Water Gun.
Just Water Gun.
Just Water Gun. I mean, if you want, I'll give you a second move if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Wait. What the beam one? What was it called?
That was Distortion Beam.
I'm going to guess that that's an Eternatus.
That's not right.
Okay, all right. I don't know why you did that though. Give me the Power Rush. That one sounds the coolest.
Come on, man! Oh, I have no chance in this battle at all. On the left, the Distortion Beam was a Malamar because he distorts stats.
Oh, thank God I didn't pick that.
On the right was a Duat, which honestly also scary because it could be either Samurott. You kind of have to settle. All you picked up was a shiny Zamazenta.
Shiny Zamazenta.
Yeah, that's all you got. Not a big deal.
These next 2 rounds are going to be big for you.
Probably fire, I would think, yeah.
It might be the round that you wanted. Let's just say that. I would say you have a 2 out of 3 chance to hit.
Okay, all right, I like that.
First one. Oh my God, I love this card and I love the name. It's going to be Diabolical Claws.
That's another ghost type though, man. I can't. It's a dark type. It could be a dark type.
I will confirm right now because I feel a little bit bad at this point.
No, I don't want any charity. You keep your charity to yourself. My Rotom Frost doesn't want your charity.
In the middle, I'm gonna give you Poison Barrier.
I actually think I know that Pokemon. I can't think of its name at all. I'm gonna have to literally sit here and think of Pokerogue because I've won with this I've won with this Pokemon before.
I can't say one of the words, so I'm gonna give you another move. So I'm gonna give you your third one, Azure Seas.
Is the word moist? Is that the word that you don't like saying? Is it because I'm hearing seas? So
it's not moist. I'm actually okay with moist.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You think I'm gonna get it just from that? It's not Kyogre.
No, but I think okay. I don't think you would get it, but potentially just go.
So I'm gonna guess that the middle is Toxapex.
No, great guess though.
That is so freaking patronizing. I can't think of a more patronizing thing. I can't risk getting another ghost type. I'm gonna take the Azure Seas. Give me the Azure Seas.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are.
I have to because like I can't I can't risk the ghost.
On the left, the claws, the Diabolical Claws was a Salazzle.
Never in my life would have gotten that.
In the middle was a Dragalge.
Wow, and I had a Sprout before. That's crazy.
You got yourself a Walking Wake.
Well.
So the word I couldn't, okay, tell me if you can say this.
You send it to me. Catharsis?
Cool.
Catharsis.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Catharsis. It's like cathartic. Raid, Rich, Richard, Richie.
Yes.
These Pokemon suck.
Really? Oh, well, I just got a Zamazenta, so it's fine.
We're gonna go ahead and give you your first one is going to be Feather.
In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Please note that I said Deluxe.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Oh brother, the Rise of Skywalker's opening crawl. Give me a break. I don't know if I really have anything new to say about it that I didn't say initially. Just that the opening sentence is how I knew this was gonna be a bad movie. The overused punctuation, the fact that it explains a ridiculous plot development we don't get to see on screen, the fact that it doesn't feel conclusive in the slightest, like the opening of a final chapter in a saga should. Honestly, if it wasn't for the Phantom Emperor line, which is kinda raw, this would be like 10 spots lower.
Disappointment in the game of life.
I don't like Broken Pier. Worst course in Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's boring, it's ugly, it's incredibly easy to fall off, I don't have fun on it. I don't know, man, that's about it.
Disappointment in the game of life.
I also don't like Wario Stadium from Mario Kart 64. It's boring, it's ugly, you can fall off at that one part and get sent back way too far in the track. I do think it is a bit of a shame that this is the only 64 course to never come back, because really, it should be so easy easy to make this one good. Just add stuff to it. Add obstacles, add anti-gravity. It cannot be this hard. The framework is fine, if a bit too long. But that's really the main problem right there. This course is nothing but framework. It felt like they just didn't finish it. Like they were gonna add cool stuff to it later, but they didn't have time, so they plopped the generic raceway theme and the same picture of Wario's head multiplied to infinity onto it, and called it a day. It's just such a fascinatingly tragic course, because I know it could be good. As is, it's one of the most boring experiences in the entire Mario Kart series. And it pisses me off because of that. At least Rainbow Road in this game looks and sounds pretty.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Just 1 second.
Okay, this is definitely one of the most where the hell do I rank this entries in the entire list. Because, like, the moment has arrived from Phineas and Ferb isn't, like, bad. I don't think. The thing is, I just can't hear it because it plays in the background during Candace's phone call. All I hear before that is, girl, the moment has arrived. I guess it sounds nice while I can hear it, but I don't know, man. If you're not gonna let the song play, then it's kind of worthless in the context of Phineas and Ferb songs, right? I don't think anyone but the single most diehard fan on the planet even knows what this song is. At least Potluck was a tangible song you could hear. I don't know, man. I have no idea. This ranking is hard enough as is, and then you got shit like this on top of everything. I think this is the official start of the F tier on this list. But this is like the least offensive F tier there is, so it goes here. I don't know.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, we're back on the Persona train. Woo-hoo! I hate Teddy and I hate his stupid social link. This shit has nothing to do with advancing your bond with him as a character. It's just random scenes that they slap a little rank up animation onto the end of. It's not the most annoying thing to sit through in Persona 4, but as a social link, it is actively a failure. Only outdone in that department by
Disappointment in the game of life.
Sai Nijima's social link, the worst one in Persona 5 and the entire Persona series. It deeply annoys me that they even gave her one, considering there's only 6 ranks, and then it abruptly ends. They could have so easily added those last 4 ranks after your interrogation session with her is over. They actually did something pretty cool in Metaphor recently, where one of your social links, Katharina, is automatic for the first half after you beat her in recurring boss battles. But then, once those are done, she just becomes a normal social link that you can talk to and rank up. Why couldn't Sai Nijima have been that? Truth be told, I hate Akechi's vanilla rank a lot more, and part of me thinks maybe I should have ranked that one last instead. But again, at least it was 10 fucking ranks, I don't know.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Gunship Calvary, the worst level of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. It's amazing how they took an already kinda bad level from the original LEGO Star Wars and made it significantly worse. Why did it need tow cables and bombs? Who was asking for that? Tow cables and bombs are my least favorite mechanic in the entire game, but at least in the Hoth battle, they actually made sense and weren't too bad to use because it was a more open area and not a linear track with a lot of pits and enemies. This level is infuriating. I hate it with everything that I am, but I would much rather play it than sit through everything ranked below it.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Okay, look, maybe from an objective critical standpoint, Pocahontas is not worthy of being this low, but it just actively pisses me off. It's literal Oscar bait, explicitly engineered by Jeffrey Katzenberg to grab another slice of that Best Picture nomination pie that Beauty and the Beast got, resulting in this melodramatic, borderline offensive distortion of a real-life historical figure, while also featuring some of the most boring characters and scenes in all of Disneydom. It's garbage, and I truly hate it more and more as the years go on. Unfortunately, it does have a couple really good songs and really stunning animation. There's just enough going for it to make it semi-watchable. But man, I'm sorry, I just can't stand it and everything it represents.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Alright, we're really about to descend into the abyss here, which contains the worst of the worst from a lot of my movie ranking videos, as well as a couple absolutely atrocious Mario Kart stragglers. With that said, there's one somewhat miscellaneous ranking that still earned its way this low with its bottom spot. And that is the worst Total Drama World Tour song. Yes, I bet you forgot I made that video, huh? A Chinese Lesson is so bad. Like, it's just Chris doing cultural appropriation and not even really singing. He's just saying random shit and then everyone responds. And then it's broken up by dialogue. It stops and starts 5 different times. It's just, oh my god, it's so bad. At least Cody technically sang in this one for 5 seconds. That's more than he sings in like 90% of the other songs in this season. But yeah, this is abysmal. I don't get anything out of it music-wise. It's not catchy. It doesn't do anything fun with its characters. It's like a black hole where music goes to die. Disappointment in the game of life. I have nothing more to say about Piranha 2: The Spawning. It's the kind of film my friends and I would attempt to watch for wheel night when we're actively craving a bad movie, and then most likely turn it off 15 minutes in because it's just not doing it for us. The only thing you can possibly get out of it is seeing where James Cameron technically got his start as a filmmaker. And the only real compliment I can give it is that at least it's not Nuki! The whole movie is just these dumbass aliens saying Nuki and Miko to each other over and over again. That's the whole thing! It's so annoying! Make it stop! I close my eyes to sleep at night and all I see is Nuki. Someone free me from this torment! Disappointment in the game of life. Oh, baby. Now it's time for the lowest of the low for my ranking of every Pixar villain. It's Zurg. Yippee! What a great villain this is. A bafflingly misguided twist from a bafflingly misguided movie that should have never been made. He is an active detriment on the plot of his film, yet he's also really, really dull and forgettable at the same time. Like, I remember the twist and how stupid it is, but I don't remember anything he says or does. Truly, the worst of both worlds. Disappointment in the game of life. Alright, bear with me. There's still a couple Mario Kart stragglers we gotta knock out. The second worst race course eligible for this list has gotta be the Mario Kart DS remake of SNES Choco Island 2. This is one of the most actively unfun experiences in the entire series, and I know retro courses in Mario Kart had to start somewhere, but this is the sort of thing that actively makes me wish DS just didn't bother, and they saved the concept for Mario Kart Wii instead. Genuinely, what did we get out of including the retros in DS? Choco Mountain and Sky Garden? Are those the only 2 worthwhile additions that came from this damn pitiful selection? Anyway, back to Choco Island 2. It looks like ass. It somehow plays worse than it did in 1992. The bumps are completely useless. The mud just feels atrocious to drive through. And yes, somehow this is the better of the 2 SNES courses eligible for this list. Disappointment in the game of life. Yep, here it is. The worst course in all of Mario Kart.
For racing, anyway.
The dead end, the boring straightaways, the completely pointless alternate path in the middle. If little Timmy made this for you in a Super Mario Kart level editor, you would tell him, "Wow, great job, Timmy," and then proceed to delete it while he's asleep so he doesn't grow up to assume that this is good track design. I kinda toyed with the idea of ranking the DS remake of Choco Island lower, just cause I expect more from that game, but ultimately, I couldn't argue with the king of Koopa shit. This truly is as bad as Mario Kart gets.
From a racing perspective.
Okay, imagine if they remade this though and added a glider at the dead ends. That would actually be pretty sick. Okay, I was gonna be funny and put Aunt Sarah higher than Zurg because she doesn't actively piss me off as much. But I had to be realistic about her quality as a villain compared to him. He at least serves as a threat to the heroes. Aunt Sarah is nothing more than a nuisance who has like 3 minutes of screen time and accomplishes practically nothing. She is perhaps one of the most boring quote-unquote main antagonists I've ever seen in anything. And yes, to be fair, Lady and the Tramp isn't exactly a movie that needs a main antagonist to function. But based on the criteria of judging Aunt Sarah as the closest thing this movie has to a Disney villain, yeah, she's absolutely abysmal. It's not even a contest. I mean, she owns racist cats, for crying out loud. Oh baby, this is it. I can feel my life force being siphoned away because we've officially entered the final lap, the home stretch. Here before us are the 11 most bullshit, terrible films I've ever ranked last place. Plus, one other non-movie. I bet you know what that is. These are the 2 out of 10 and below films that I absolutely cannot stand. Ones that absolutely drove me up the wall with how bad they are. But with that said, one of these is significantly not as bad as the others to me. And that is the most recent contender for this list, Kermit's Swamp Years. I was more so bored out of my mind watching this film instead of actively hating myself, which gives it a slight advantage over everything else we've got before us. Really, it's just a lame, low-energy cash grab prequel spin-off that isn't really worth getting upset about. And it did have a couple charming moments, as well as Roy, who is legitimately like the funniest Muppets character for no reason. Like, I'm sorry, I really can't stress that enough. Once again, just listen to the way this guy talks.
Oh, you were gonna hurt my hurts, I believe is what it was.
Why is he so casual, and why is that so funny? Yeah, but other than that, this movie sucks complete ass. And the film that lucked out by just barely missing out on the bottom 10 on this list is, in fact, the worst Blue Sky movie. Ice Age Collision Course. The 5th and not the final Ice Age film is just an asinine, watered down, flavorless piece of mush. I honestly can't remember a single thing about it. And to be fair, I can distinctly recall all the negative emotions I have about the upcoming film from this list, so I guess Ice Age 5 gets to rank above them. How did it get to this point? How are we still getting more of these? The answer is money. Okay, I should be fair and actually say things about the film, but again, I don't remember anything. Let me just rewatch the trailer.
A few minutes later.
Oh yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is in this. Okay, I think that's enough said.
Scientists were able to mimic Nessie Amun's voice by recreating his mouth and vocal cords with a 3D printer. It allowed them to produce a single sound.
Oh, it has been ages since I first laid into Turbo. Still to this day, the worst DreamWorks movie, only because Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate doesn't count. It's a TV movie. Anyway, ever since my original ranking, this movie has gotten some attention due to the atrocious taco scene. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, why is he making a taco in the whitest possible way? It's so funny. Yeah, Turbo still sucks complete dick. I watched some scenes to refresh my memory, and I did not laugh once, except for at the funny taco scene. I still think the twist villain is absolutely atrocious beyond belief. I don't like any of the characters. I think the plot is complete ass. When people talk about generic animated slop, this is one of the first movies that comes to mind for me. At least I can get something out of a Despicable Me film, or any Ice Age movie that isn't the 5th one. Sometimes those have decent moments. But god, Turbo is just atrocious. With that said, it ranks higher than the following movies because it has the taco scene.
Who wants a taco?
Now for arguably one of my greatest foes ever. Cars 2. Yes, there are at least 8 things I hate more than Cars 2. Are you guys happy? So people like this film now. And on some level, I get it. I can completely understand being a lot more entertained by this than Lightyear or The Good Dinosaur. Speaking of which, I just wanted to mention that I instinctively put The Good Dinosaur on this list before I remembered that technically, it's never been last place in any of my ranking videos. I honestly forgot. I just assumed it was, because, you know, it's The Good Dinosaur. But yeah, shockingly no, it is not eligible for this list. I would have put it between Pocahontas and A Chinese Lesson in case you're curious. So yeah, back to Cars 2. Look, I see where you guys are coming from. Cars 2 just has this ridiculous batshit charm to it that I would never deny. Like on paper, something as stupid as a spy car movie sounds right up my alley. I just think the thing that really kills this film for me is how stupid everyone who isn't Mater acts. The fact that these actual spies are so incompetent that they don't realize immediately that Mater isn't a spy is what really drills into my head that, oh yeah, this is for 3-year-olds. And that's not something I could say about any other Pixar movie. Like, you know, some of them are made for 7-year-olds at least. Cars 2 is just a weird babyfication of a pretty down-to-earth and not terrible original film. And yet it's also hyper-violent, and it's just like, cool, I'm glad you guys like this film, but it doesn't work for me at all. If I wanted to watch something bad, I could just watch any of the movies I listed at the end of the James Cameron ranking. Except Nuki. I'm never watching Nuki again. I think Nuki would rank 3rd to last place on this list if it counted, so yeah. Congratulations, Cars fans! I've previously gone on the record saying that Cars is a better movie than Happy Feet. And now you can officially take solace in the fact that I think Cars 2 is a better movie than Happy Feet 2. Insane to me that a director as visionary and incredible as George Miller could create 2 of the biggest pieces of slop I've ever seen in my life. And then somehow, in the damn climax of this one, he creates one of the top 5 best scenes he's ever done. I really cannot stress enough how good the under pressure scene in this movie is. The gay krill are also pretty enjoyable. Really, these 2 great things should be enough to catapult this out of the bottom area on this list. But genuinely, every other thing about this movie is so awful that it almost doesn't even matter. To get to the under pressure scene, you have to sit through 90 minutes of the most boring, asinine plot with the most annoying characters. Look, if he really had to make this movie to get Mad Max Fury Road funded, then fair enough. But by God, so much of this film just feels soulless. Like there's no spark behind it and everyone is just going through the motions. It's like they had one cool scene they really wanted to make, so they just threw in whatever bullshit they could to make this a feature-length film and get to that scene. I despise Happy Feet with a burning passion. But with that said, we're about to get into some real shit that doesn't even have gay krill and under pressure to save it. In between all this animated slop here at the bottom lies a good old-fashioned piece of live-action slop. The absolute worst movie ever concocted by Steven Spielberg, always. Oh really? This low? Yeah, this low. I couldn't even sit through the damn thing, it was so boring. I don't have anything new to say. Yep, it's still a big budget Hallmark movie. It is nearly devoid of artistic merit, aside from a couple cool visuals and actors who are trying their best. I can't stress enough, this dude is watching himself get cucked as a ghost. That's the plot! Oh my god, what an unbelievably miserable experience. You legitimately could not pay me to watch this movie again. I hated it. I am never gonna stop hating it. I am this film's #1 hater. No one else could even compare because no one else knows this fucking movie exists! Just barely missing out on the bottom 5. We have a movie with the honor of being the only film on this list that has come in last place not once, but in 2 different ranking videos. Yep, that's right. My least favorite Disney animated movie, both in the 2000s and in general. Dinosaur. Again, people like this movie or whatever. That's nice. I just don't have anything to say. I can't bring myself to muster anything positive about it besides the opening, the score, and Kron was a 4 out of 10 villain and not the absolute worst in Disney history. This movie just drains me, but I've rattled the dinosaur fandom long enough, I guess. So now let's get to the movies that I don't think have any fans. The absolute worst of the worst. Cancer of the crop. Borderline irredeemable garbage that I loathe more than most people could possibly imagine. Yeah, we're in that territory now. Buckle the fuck up. You know, whenever I see Ghibli steelbooks at Barnes & Noble, or look at the list of movies playing for Ghibli Fest every year, I almost forget it exists. I think, wow, Ghibli is so consistent outside of those bad ones. Ocean Waves and Tales from Earthsea. Like, my brain physically cannot comprehend the idea that Earwig and the Witch is not only a Ghibli movie, but that it exists at all. I think a big part of that is the fact that Boy and the Heron now comfortably slots in as the most recent Ghibli film, hereby eradicating Earwig from my memory entirely. And that's probably for the best, because I simply cannot fathom this film. Why does it look like that? Why are the two main characters some of the most hateable I've ever seen in an animated film? Why does the story just stop without actually having a worthwhile and logical ending? Earwig and the Witch is detestable. It offends me on a personal level. And the crazy thing is, I don't think I'm alone in that. It's hard to think of a more universally despised animated film from a major studio. And especially not such a universally beloved one as Ghibli. The cherry on top of all of this is that this was the first Ghibli film in 6 years. So before we knew for a fact Boy and the Heron was coming out, I think most of us would have preferred Ghibli to just stay dead. Cause this is no damn way to live, man. How do you live after making this as a studio? I don't understand. If we never get another Ghibli film again, that's okay. Because now we have a real finale for the studio. Fuck this movie and everything it stands for. On paper, it was probably a surprise for Ghibli of all studios to have a spot this low on the list. But now we're really getting to the rankings where you knew this was gonna be down here, even if you forgot which movie I ranked in last place on them. Time for the worst of the Disney direct-to-DVD sequels. Oh baby, The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. Okay, I'll admit, I might hate Belle's Magical World a little bit more now. I mean, that doesn't even have Sarouche. Yeah, Sarouche is kind of funny. My friends and I joke around about him a lot. Other than that, I mean, practically worthless? It offers literally nothing that was good about the original Hunchback. It's got such a stupid plot. It looks absolutely atrocious. The songs are terrible. I mean, come on, show the mildest bit of fucking decency and self-respect. This movie is devoid of any of that. It is maddeningly insufferable. Except for you, Sarouche. I love you, baby. But yeah, other than that, borderline unwatchable garbage. But you know what? The director did turn his career around and direct The Lion King 1.5 a few years later. So that's what I call a comeback. Congratulations. There is now a G tier. Oh, really, Shafe? You genuinely think playing the Wii U battle mode of Mario Kart 8 on N64 Toad's Turnpike is worse than The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 and Earwig and the Witch?
Yes, I genuinely do.
It's hard to think of a time where I actively hated myself more than when I was playing the Wii U battle mode of Mario Kart 8 on N64 Toad's Turnpike. This is actually one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had. Who are the sick, twisted lunatics who play tested and approved this? I looked up footage of this mode to remind myself, because I would never in a million years touch it again as long as I live. And literally in the first 20 seconds of this video I found, we can see Toad innocently throw a green shell and then have it ricochet off of a truck and hit him square in the face. Yes, maybe he shouldn't have thrown it right then and there, but that's not the point. The point is that it's going to be practically impossible to take your opponents down, because how are you possibly going to hit them with all of these cars and trucks moving around? I considered the craters on Lunar Colony to be an undesirable obstacle for the sake of battling. Do you think a goddamn truck is any better? The Wii U battle mode in general, but specifically N64 Toad's Turnpike within it, has truly flabbergasted me for the better part of a year now. In my opinion, this is on the same level of bafflingly miscalculated design as the battle system in Paper Mario Sticker Star. It is beyond miserable, truly irredeemable, with absolutely nothing to enjoy about it. And you might be saying, oh come on, it's Mario Kart. Hell, Mario Kart 8 at that. Surely even the worst experience Mario Kart 8 has to offer is at least a little bit more fun than all these terrible movies. No. You weren't there. Statistically speaking, you probably have never even played this mode since it's stuck on the Wii U, as it should be. You don't get to refute my points about this if you never gave it a try. It is genuinely, without compare, such a heinously bad time that I could never, under good conscience, recommend it to anyone. It gives me no pleasure whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna go through the last couple of movies and specifically outline at least one compliment I have for each of them in order to really drill into your skull that, yes, I have thought about each and every one of them and determined that they are all a more worthwhile use of my time than playing the Wii U battle mode of Mario Kart 8 on N64 Toad's Turnpike. Are you ready?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Hunchback 2, easy, Sarouche. Earwig, sometimes I enjoy the Mandrake. Dinosaur, the opening and the score. Always, decent performances and cool visuals. Happy Feet 2, Under Pressure and Gay Krill. Cars 2, sometimes the Italian car is funny. Turbo, I mean, that taco scene is really hilarious. Ice Age 5. I don't know, I guess I can laugh at the funny haha scrat bits. I think you get the picture by now. I can get at least something out of each of these atrocious movies. Battling on N64 Toad's Turnpike offers me nothing. This to me is the absolute point of no return when it comes to entertainment. Anything lower than this is heinous beyond all capacity for rational thought. Something I would never willingly subject myself to again, no matter how much you paid me. Okay, I might do it for $1 million, but that's it. And now, my friends, will you walk with me through the valley of the shadow of death? Because believe it or not, there are two films I despise more than N64 Toad's Turnpike battle mode on the Wii U. Genuinely. These are two of the worst abominations that have ever been unleashed into this world. And I knew going in that these would be the bottom two. Like, you might think, oh, this is gonna be such a hard video. And it was, for the most part. But I knew nothing compared to these two movies that go so far beyond the moniker of cinematic disaster. They are irredeemable. They are demonic. Let's get right into the runner-up for the worst thing I've ever watched for this channel. Friends, before we continue on, I just wanted to thank you all for joining me on this despair-filled, torturous journey. I appreciate you standing by me as I confront all of my demons that have been haunting me for years now. We're almost through to the other side, but before we can get there, we have to endure the absolute lowest of the low. The two films that managed to transcend abyss fiction through their sheer awfulness. Without further ado, the runner-up for the worst thing I have ever ranked last place in any of my videos is Hop. Illumination as a studio is really not that bad on average. Their movies are white noise, offering very little to actually get offended by when it comes to their quality, or lack thereof. Hop is something else entirely. Hop is as if Satan and Genghis Khan had a baby, who is then baptized by Jeffrey Dahmer, raised by Charles Manson, babysat by Ted Bundy, taught by Benito Mussolini, fell in love with Quercus Alba, and then unleashed onto a wholly unprepared world who had not an inkling of the horrors that lay within. This is an unconscionable stain on the art of filmmaking and the human race as a whole. And I'm not even going to explain why. Just watch the segment on it in my Illumination ranking. I don't have it in me to relive its horrors.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
You'd think that a movie this heinous and devoid of anything good would have been a shoo-in for the bottom spot to end all bottom spots.
But no, it's not.
You might have assumed that I had a difficult time determining what the absolute worst thing I've ever covered in a ranking video could possibly be. But I'm gonna be perfectly frank, it wasn't even a contest. I knew immediately that nothing was going to top this. For all of its malaise and malice, for all the ways I thoroughly loathe it beyond all capacity for rational thought, I can give Hop this one thing. It is indeed a movie. You cannot say this about the bottom spot on this list. The most